Okay, well, August 13th, I had a psychiatrist appointment, and she was wondering what my liver biopsy results were, and I informed her I didn't get that yet. And she said that it's been 2 weeks to call them because they probably assumed that I already know. I already got a call, or they got busy, or whatever. So I couldn't call them after my psychiatry appointment because I had other stuff I had to do that day. And so the next day when I woke up, I ended up having a voicemail from my gallbladder surgeon. He's the one that did my gallbladder removal, my hernia he fixed in my belly button, and he did a liver biopsy, and he did all this July 29th of 2019. And he called and left me a message to see how I was recovering, how everything was going. And so I called his office back, and she was asking, how my recovery is doing, how is everything healing, and I said good. And she asked me how I was doing going poop. And I told her, well, it's been, okay. Just the first time I had a bowel movement, it hurt really bad, where I had to take Tramadol. And she asked how my pain meds were working, and I said, well, they usually don't. Tramadol doesn't work for me usually, but for the surgery process, it did. And I only took it the day of surgery, and then the day after surgery, and after that, I haven't taken any. Because, like I said, it doesn't really help with my other pains. And she said, oh, okay. Well, then, she said if my doctor needed, the surgeon, needed any information or whatever, then he would call me back. Or do I need him to call me back? And I said, I don't think so. So then, I get off the phone with her, and I call my my gastrologist specialist. And they said they didn't have the biopsy results, which I thought they would be giving them, because they're the ones that wanted the biopsy done. And so they said that I would have to talk to my surgeon, that did everything. I said, okay. Well, ended up getting busy, and I got an email from the surgeon that did the gallbladder removal, the hernia fix, and my liver biopsy. And the email basically said that I probably already know the results by now, but the biopsy came back and I have sarcoidosis in my liver. Which, anytime they find sarcoidosis, I don't know if this is true with everyone else, but with me, it's always by accident. In my eyes were red, they were blurry. The eye specialist, which is also an eye surgeon, he thought at first I had arthritis in my eyes. Come to find out, it's sarcoidosis. And I still lose my vision from time to time. And then my back, kept bothering me too, all around the same time. And I went to a whole bunch of specialists. Everyone kept telling me there was nothing wrong with me, I was fine, but I know my body, so I didn't give up. I even seen a pain specialist, and that didn't help. That just made my pain a lot worse. And I was even doing physical therapy for my back. Nothing. So then I seen a spine specialist, and he did a CAT scan in his office and found out my back's curving inward. Well, my other doctor's seen that there's stuff growing in my lungs, so then they got me in with a lung specialist, a pulmonary specialist, and they did a biopsy, and that came back as sarcoidosis. Well, then I was vomiting for 2 years, and was losing weight. Nobody, knew what was going on, and it got really bad this year. I couldn't even hold down water or I'm sorry, last year. I couldn't even hold down water. So then I went and made an appointment with a gastrologist, and he put me on medications for acid reflux. Well, then this year, he had me come in for a follow-up, and he decided that he was going to do surgery. And so then he went down with a scope down my throat like they do for a lung biopsy. And he took 5 biopsies of things, and then that all came back. You know, he thought at first it was cancer, and it wasn't, thankfully. And then he had me do an ultrasound, and the ultrasound showed that my gallbladder was full of stones, which I already knew. I got those around the same time I got kidney stones, which was last year. And then he had me do a papaya test, which basically you have to lay flat. You lay flat in this machine, they strap your arms to your side, and you can't move for an hour. They watch your gallbladder, and then they end up putting an IV in your arm an hour later, and then they put the stuff through to watch your gallbladder better, and you do that for another hour. And they noticed that mine was only working 24%. Well, then my doctor noticed with all these tests, my gastrologist, that my liver was fatty. And so they had me come back in, do a blood test, and that didn't show anything, you know, alarming. So then they sent me to my surgeon, and they said, you know, if he decides to take my gallbladder, then make sure that he takes a biopsy of my liver. So I did. I informed him, you know, that my doctor wants a biopsy of my liver if he decides to take my gallbladder. And he did decide to take it because it's only working 24%. And they don't lower than 40%. So, yeah. So then we had to go through all that. And then while he was doing an exam, he noticed pushing my stomach right in my belly button was a hernia. So he figured since they're going in, might as well. They have to go in 4 different ways. So might as well just fix the hernia while they're at it. And he thought my liver was fatty for me being on prednisone for 3 years. But he figured that he would take a biopsy, you know, just to be on the safe side and make everyone else happy. And then, come to find out, now I have sarcoidosis in my liver. So, I don't know what's going to go on. I don't know if they're going to put me back on prednisone. And last time I was on that, I gained over 100 pounds and lost a lot of hair. So, I don't know what's going to happen. Just been a lot going on. Very hectic. And I've been very stressed out. Very grumpy. Just not myself. And trying to get stuff done, but been in pain. And I've had migraines and brain spasms. It's been raining here like crazy. So, and when it rains, I get brain spasms, and it puts my body in more pain. And since I had surgery, I couldn't take a bath to at least help a little bit. And so it's been very just bad. Alright, well, I hope you guys have a better day than mine, and it's pain-free. And God bless you. Bye.